Tuesday, September 17th, market analysis, Stan Ehrlich. We have some interesting developments for the stock indexes. Then we go to the futures, and we may have some toppy formations and some signals in the interest rate futures developing. So let's get rolling. The E-mini came up close to and did make it higher than the highs, which was a fairly flat little plateau around August 22nd through September 3rd, about a week and a half, 2 weeks. And it did it today, early in the day, popping up, making those new highs, getting closer to the all-time highs, which were back in the middle of July. Now, why is that important? When markets make new highs, and it's truly a strong market, they will stay up there and they will close above, not at or below, but above the previous rally highs. And you'll probably get another day or two or more of strength follow through. This situation, it made new highs for the last month and a half, and is not staying at those lofty prices and has turned around and actually gotten a new lows of the day and is now lower than yesterday's closing price. One more thing needs to happen in order for me to get a lot more optimistic about a move down starting today, would be for it to get below yesterday's lows and stay below and close below yesterday's lows for a bearish engulfing in a traditional sense. That could happen. Now, that's the daily data on the E-mini. Here's our 1-minute chart. You can see it opened approximately unchanged yesterday afternoon at the beginning of this session and pretty much went sideways. And during the night came up quite a bit. And this morning made a rally high at 7:50 California time and topped out. Now has come down and made new lows for the session and started to form that potential reversal, but it hasn't happened completely yet. But I'm liking what I'm seeing in terms of expecting bearish moves. Now, we're still long with the strategy, ER signals from the bottom, and I'll go back to the daily chart. We bought it because of the bullish engulfing on September 11th, and that was only 4 days ago. But the trade has done very, very well because it's gone up quite a bit. And so we're able to lock in a very nice profit. And we're in jeopardy getting stopped out. But do you change your strategy inputs to make your trailing stop move faster or slower because of what you think? Probably no, because then you're interjecting the human being back into the damn formula which you developed in order to get you out of the decision-making process. So we'll leave it right there. It's going to be a profit. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong and it's going to turn around and make new highs, but my opinion has been so far not particularly good, but maybe we are really topping out and I can't prove it yet because we haven't made those lower lows for the last couple of months yet. Going to the next chart is a spider. And again, I'm looking for a move down to at least the lows that we made in early August and maybe more during October. So we have a higher high. Now we're back down to approximately unchanged, making new lows for the morning. Here's the short-term chart. Now with the SPY, it did gap up this morning. In retrospect, 2020 hindsight, that could be an exhaustion gap. Going back to the daily chart, you can see the market just barely made it into new historic highs, but it didn't stay there. Another bad thing, oftentimes called a bull trap. So the weaker that gets, the faster it gets weaker, the more likely it is to be turning around for the beginning of the decline that I've been talking about for well over a month, including this last rally for a week and a half, which was not in the cards originally. Spider, 1 minute again, low and last almost, looking for more of a break. Now, QQQ did break a bear trend line, but we are nowhere near even the high that we made at August 22nd, which is an ER sell signal right on top. Great bearish trade out the day it reversed on the upside. I can see we have a nice profitable one scalp, and the one overnight is still in the books. Probably I will change that maybe later and start to raise it up so I make a little more money, but I don't want to make many changes here. And I'm telling you, if I do it, I'll do it in advance than what I did tomorrow if I do anything. The QQQ 1 minute, there's our trailing stop. There's where the original was. There's our original entry point right there for the one scalp, and it made very good money the same day, scalp. And here is the one overnight still on the books, and it'll do not quite as good as the scalp, actually, if I leave the stop where it is. That's interesting. Okay, so the next chart is going to be the NASDAQ daily new high for the last couple of weeks, but now significantly lower on the day, and it could have a bearish engulfing also, but not a ER sell signal because it didn't get overbought. On that top, it did, and it worked great. On that top, it did, and it worked great. I mean, double great. On that top, it worked fine. It made some money in a couple of days. On this high, I think it actually lost a slight bit because there wasn't enough of a downside move right away. But later on, there was a bit of a dip. So the stop was too close in retrospect, but we didn't lose a lot of money, period. Major important. Okay, next chart is the 1 minute NASDAQ coming down pretty good. There's our trade line bouncing around with the current quote. Here's our stop. No comments, looking good. Maybe we're going to get out today. Next chart, YM, the Dow made all-time and new historic highs now for the second day in a row. But I told you on this YouTube yesterday that because the close was right around and not above the previous historical highs, that was a danger point. That needs to close when you make new highs above previous highs in order to maintain some follow through, some further strength, usually. It didn't do that yesterday. Today we did make a new high, but we're now lower on the day and starting to sink some here, and we could have a bearish engulfing. Again, we're not overbought on any of these indexes, so I'm not going to get a red signal, unfortunately, but I am interpreting the best I can for the rest of the information. I don't like that. Well, I do like this because I'm trying to justify a move down. YM short-term chart, new low for the sessions just a little while ago. Russell, new high, enough to pull the stop up quite a bit this morning. We got out of our last bull trade on the long side on September 11th. And sure enough, nice trade. We bought the day the market bottomed out. Great. We're flat. Might have that bearish engulfing that I'm looking for in other indexes. Not all of them do it on the same day necessarily. And we're looking at the 1 minute Russell just coming down pretty good. And we're out of the previous long way up here. That looked real good. Okay, bonds. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're only down 6 at the moment. We did get up above the trend line slightly, so I'm probably going to have to move that line up a little bit. We are overbought today, and the last few days we've been overbought for a few. We're close to yesterday's low. If it gets below yesterday's low, we will turn red to have an official ER sell signal for the first time in quite a while, and this could be a really, really good one. Maybe. Don't jump the gun. It's not there yet, but you can see it developing maybe. It could be equivalent to that sell signal way up there. Last September or August, what was it? August 2nd of 22, 2 years ago. I'm looking for a move down into the green circle during October, back to a major support level in general, and then a giant bull move to all-time new highs for the last couple of years. 10-year notes are the same, but looky, we have a bearish engulfing ER red sell signal in progress right now. This is what I hope some of these other indexes and the bonds develop into during the day. All I have to have at this point is for it to stay lower than the previous close. And I've got my signal. Now, I'm not guaranteeing it's going to work. Not all the signals make money. This one looks like it's in the right spot, in the right situation to begin the move down into this circle. It will create a potential double top, and the objective to the downside is right smack dab in that price range. So here it comes, maybe. We've got crude oil rallying. We were in support. We were oversold. No surprise. It might be just about as high as it's going to get. I don't trust the rally. Not overbought. It could come up a little bit more. Best I can say on crude at the moment. Natural gas, minor new high off of 3 buy signals, one of which is the lowest low in a double bottom. And we are coming very close to an upside breakout, which would happen at 2.45. Then if it closes above that number, we're going to get a minimum upside objective of 2.9, let's say. Next, heating oil. Oversold, no reversal, nothing here except support area and oversold to tell us it was likely to turn up, and it's turned up some, but the trend is down. The trend is your friend, but it rallies in bear markets, all the time. It's where you want to sell short on the rally, and that looks like 2.26. Next chart, gold. Well, it's been overbought for a couple of days. It did have a breakout, and the first thing I'm going to say is basically it looks bullish. But it depends on how it handles the test of support, which is around 2561. If it can't rally off of that trend line and keep on going up, it's in serious jeopardy of coming all the way back down to the bottom of this trading range. And if it gets there, we'll see what happens about downside breakouts. But that's quite a ways down, so I'm not going to tell you it's going to happen right away. First of all, let's get down to this line here, 2560-ish. And I think it's about to do that right now. But silver and platinum are a little different. Silver and platinum have gotten overbought. They're starting to roll over. Platinum a little bit better. Not much, just a little. And silver still has that older head and shoulder top that wasn't really ruined, but I didn't expect a rally quite this high. I now think the market's going to at least come down and test these other lows. We bought the bottom on a green bullish engulfing. That was great. But I'm not getting any sell signals yet. There's still a chance for the next few days. And I'm looking for a break in the silver market. Again, probably down to at least 28 and maybe a chunk more than that. The objective on the formation is 2450. Platinum, pretty much the same story completely. Didn't quite get up to resistance. I should pull this over to the right some, just about like this, and that's good. So overbought, starting to flip over, looking for a test of support and probably a break of support. Downside objective from the head and shoulder top, 808. Next, copper high grade, double bottom, bullish engulfing ER buy signals on both lows. First one isn't the lowest low, but it worked very nicely. The second low is the lowest low on September 5th, and it's working right now just fine. We are testing support. We are getting very close to overbought, not quite yet, and I don't see anything important about today so far. Next, soybeans, soybean oil, meal, corn, wheat, cattle, and hogs. We got beans with a doji, not doing much. Buy signal almost on the bottom. Recent sell signal on the high of the rally, exactly. It's just not coming down too much too fast lately. Remember, beans and grains in general have been in very big long-term bear markets. Those are the ones I love, and that's a sell signal on the top on July 22nd of 23, and we're still in that bear market from over a year ago. and we got a sell signal on the exact high day. You want to go back to my YouTube back then? Prove me wrong? You can't do it. Next, soybean oil. Resistance is hit, overbought, classic combination, slipping fine. New low for the trend yesterday, down. Now I think it's going to challenge the lows and make new lows for the complete trend. We got a sell signal on the top of this one also, way back on August 21 of 23, the exact high day. I can't tell whether these signals are going to be the top for a year or two to come or a day or two. You just have to trust the signals, get in and ride the wave as best you can. And that's why the trailing stops eliminate emotion, greed, fear. The human being. That's not good. People don't make good traders. Robots, algorithms, if they're programmed correctly and got good ideas behind them, can make good traders. Next, what do we got? Meal, sideways, trend line stopping it on the upside, stops the rallies, got overbought. I think we're about to make new lows. I expect a test of 300 and under soon. Next, corn. Pretty much the same story across all the grains. Rally into resistance. Couldn't break the resistance levels so far. Kind of expecting it to start to make new lows for the whole trend. All the buy signals we've had, even though they may have worked for a day or two or a few hours, really didn't produce any significant bottom at all. Now, that one back there is a little different story. It's at quite a bit higher levels. So that one worked pretty good, but still not that big a deal. What about wheat? We did get a buy signal on the bottom recently, August 27th. We got another one on the way up that also worked okay, September 3rd. We got overbought just the last few days. That's pretty much the best thing I can say about it. Kind of at some resistance in here, but it's starting to slip already, and I'm looking for more move to the downside. The trend is obviously down. I'll point out again that just before the war, 2.5 years ago, started, we have a sell signal on the exact historic high day of March 8th of 2022 with a bearish engulfing ER sell signal, a whopper. It's been years since I've seen a signal that profound and work now 2.5 years later so amazingly huge. On the next rally, we also got another sell signal, by the way. Okay, enough for wheat. Looking for new lows. Cattle bumped right up against my trend line here, an old trend line. Not quite to resistance, pretty close. And not quite overbought yet. This could come up a little bit more, but I'm looking for a rollover to the downside. I do want to mention the possible double bottom, though. And the breakout point is now right about where we are, current quotes. So if it does close around the high so far, or in higher prices than the high so far, above 180.4, then we may have a double bottom upside breakout, and the minimum upside move would be up to 186.7. That's quite possible. Let's see if it has a breakout or not. It sure as heck is trying today pretty hard. It made it into breakout territory, but it's just right on the fringe of either getting up a little bit more and making an official breakout on the close or a failure, which could cause it to start dropping right back down again. Miss Piggy rallied today. Not much to say, frankly, about the hogs. Gigantic big sideways trading range essentially since the summer of 23, a year ago. Okay, E-mini now down on the day very slightly. Did I make any new lows since I've been yakking away? No, not quite yet, but I think it's going to. I'd love to see this market have some big bearish reversals today. They haven't happened yet. You guys have a great day. Profitable trading to you.